Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring you Happiness Chapter 5 review. Now, if you have yet to actually start this series, I'm just going to briefly say this real quick before I begin this review. I've already done a first impressions, and I've already been reviewing the series since the first couple chapters have been out. So, if you are interested in this series, I recommend you look up my Happiness first impressions I made of this series. So anyways, I'm going to begin into spoiler territory of this chapter, so I recommend anyone that's asking if you should read this, leave the video now because I don't want to spoil you. So anyways, Happiness Chapter 5. This chapter, I'm liking the direction of this series. Right here, this is a very good turning point in this series. Like this right here, this is what the expectations I had of the series so far from what I was seeing in this chapter. For one thing, there's many things you can get from this chapter. Even though the chapter, writing it down like a brief summary, it's simple. Like, it's a very simple chapter on paper, and there's not really much to really say that was happening besides handling the bully situation. But there was some stuff that you can really key in on when it comes to this chapter of Happiness. For one thing, our MC is able to resist his urges. Like, throughout the entirety of this chapter, he kept smelling blood. You see how he kept smelling blood. Like, he smelt the girl behind him, her blood, and also, you have it, actually, let's back up a second. The blood he smells from the girl, like, very perverted, but I wouldn't expect no less from this mangaka. With the perversion the mangaka did with the flower of evil, or the flowers of evil, I wouldn't expect any less. I really wouldn't. So, to see where the blood's coming from, it makes a lot of sense, actually, when it comes down to the writing of this mangaka. But, that's the type of style I like when it comes to this mangaka, because this mangaka is very perverted, but at the exact same time shows, like, an inner evil of humanity that's something you don't normally get from a slice of life. And it's a very unique way to write a series. And so, we're starting to get glimpses of this throughout this entire chapter. But let's point at other things. Besides him resisting the blood from the girl, he also resists blood from the person that he tried to save. For instance, the bully that was bullying our main character, as we know he punched him a couple chapters back, well, he goes out of his way to save him. And usually, if you were in this situation, you probably wouldn't go out of your way to save the bully. Let's think about this, okay? If you were sit there and being tormented throughout your entire high school life or whatever, like if you're being tormented and people are bullying you, like one of the main big bully hotshots are bullying you, I highly doubt majority of us, let's face it, would try to go out of our way to save that bully. Look, I mean, it's karma, but majority of us probably wouldn't. And when you see this chapter of how he takes the initiative to try to save him, it shows you what type of character he is, what type of personality he is, and what type of person he is, but also being able to resist drinking the blood from the person. Like, for one thing, it looked like he lost to his instincts of a vampire at first. When he jumped that dude, it looked like he was about to bite into that dude. Like, he was just starting to do, like he was about to bite into the guy. So, there's going to be a time soon. I'm sensing it very soon, maybe not next chapter, but 4-5 chapters later, there's going to come a time to where our MC is probably going to bite someone and drink their blood. It's very obvious something like this is going to happen sooner or later. It's the main question of when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. Because right now, he's shown a lot of restraint. But I highly doubt that's going to hold for long. I really doubt that's going to hold for long. But I'm glad he's holding restraint at the very least, to where he's trying to help out people, but also holding back his inner urges. Now, when it comes to the artwork, once again, looks very similar to the artwork of Akunohana. It really does. It looks very similar to it, but that's to be expected when it comes to this mangaka. But the artwork, I'm loving the way the shadowing is done of the characters. I'm loving that. I'm loving the panel work with the shadowing, with the backgrounds of the characters, to the way the scenes of the buildings look, to the forest when, they were in the park when the poor guy was getting bullied. I like the artwork of this chapter. I think, so far, from what I've seen from the past couple chapters, I think this is one of the better chapters when it comes to artwork. It seems like the mangaka is starting to figure out what type of style of artwork he or she wants to go with. Like, for instance, what type of style they want to go with throughout the rest of this series. The big question is, though, so far with this setup of Chapter 5, you have to wonder, what direction is the series going to take? Like, see, we all have heard of vampire stories before. Like, we know about vampire stories. They're nothing really original. We've seen them constantly through many years of reading things. It's the main thing is how they do it. How is the execution of these series? And as I've said many times, I have a lot of expectations from this mangaka because of the series that the mangaka previously did. And adding in the mix with vampires and showcasing, like, the blood, of the smelling where the blood is, it's going to add a very unique twist to a series. I just wonder how it's going to be implemented. Like, how is the series going to develop? Is it going to still retain, like, some form of slice-of-life nature to it? Is it going to try to go into supernatural nature where we're going to meet other vampires? A lot of questions I have right now. But that's about it. I mean, chapter, very simple, but very fun. If you did not know the chapter was out, go watch it. Or watch a chapter, what the fuck. Go read the chapter if you've yet to go read it. Anyways, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.